you. Look what you guys faxed me. You know, all these things. And we know what Charlie can do. I'm here to tell you what Charles Barkley brought to us as a person, it's as a fan, as a player, as a teammate. So don't ask me no more questions about the stats. You got the stats. You want what I'm talking? Just like a ticker tape parade or have the ticker like on CNBC going by with all the stocks. That'd be his stats.
Bull taps it once and can't make it. Charles looks like he's just determined to take over this game about as authoritatively as you...
Now, see, Charlie played every minute of every game.
Charles Barkley, he's not human.
We'll be sitting down in practice, right? And Charlie don't play 48 minutes back-to-back. So Charlie will come in with his McDonald's, and I've never seen somebody eat it the way he does. He take his pancakes, right, take it out of the carton, wrap it up with the sausage in it, put the pancakes on, and sit on the bike and ride the bike while we practice. And I remember he looked over at Armin Gilliam, and Armin Gilliam was running the floor, right? He goes, Armin, will you run the floor? And Armin Gilliam looks over at me and goes, you believe that, Charles Barkley? Sitting on here while I'm practicing, pancakes spitting out his mouth, sauces going this way, orange juice all over his shirt. He's talking about run the floor and he on the bike pedaling 1 mile an hour. I said, yeah, Armin, but you ain't played 48 minutes the last 5 games in a row and averaging 30 and 20. How strong is Charles? He learned how to get low and plant himself. So Charlie would plant and you couldn't move Charlie.
If he gets the ball in that position, just put it on the board.
I don't care if you was Will Chamberlain. You wasn't gonna sit back out there and keep Charlie from moving you back in. Give you a pump fake. If he was going left, shoot the jumper. Barkley goes to the left. He goes to the right. He stops. Little fade.
He turns on Lambert, starts and drives. Dishes off to Williams. He puts it up and in.
I remember probably about 2 or 3 years ago playing against him. He was in Houston. It's a good clip you can get on this too. I got it on my highlight reel. I think it was Sam Casello, the point guard, comes out and throws me alley-oop, and I just go way up, grab it, bam, and I dunk it right on Charlie. And I turn around, and I slap Charlie on the behind.
The 1992-93 National Basketball Association Most Valuable Player. Congratulations.
I think I never felt more happier for any other individual in the game than I was for Charlie. So I was glad to see Charlie finally getting the recognition that he deserved, being put up there in the same sentence with Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, which he was just as good a player as any one of those guys. Charlie, I learned how to deal with the media. I learned how to deal with the fans, because Charlie always understood the game. And he understood we're entertainers. We're not just athletes.
That's what I'm talking about, the ultimate entertainer. That's what he can do best.
He is really a different guy. His elevator doesn't always go to the top.
That's Charles Barkley for you, in a nutshell. Great player, great individual, you know, and a great guy for the game of basketball.
Jason only spent 2 seasons with Charles before being traded to the Nets, but those days in Philly left a lasting impression. In his book, Outrageous, Charles Barkley called himself the 9th wonder of the world. Of course, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Charles is also the only man to claim he was misquoted in his own autobiography. But it is true there's never been another player quite like him. From the time he arrived in the NBA, Barkley dominated the court and the headlines. For 16 years, he put on a fascinating one-man show.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man we all know and love, Charles Barkley! Action. Check this out.
Charles Barkley was born and raised in the small town of Leeds, Alabama, where he learned the value of hard work at an early age.
My mother cleaned houses, and my grandmother worked at a meat factory. They did whatever it took to make sure that we had something all the time. We didn't have a lot, but we never went without. So that's probably the greatest thing that I learned from him. Just do whatever it takes to make yourself successful.
And Charles would be an instant success at Auburn University. He emerged as one of the nation's best college players, despite packing a few extra pounds.
Hello, I'm Charles Barkley of Auburn Tigers. Here I feel my nickname, the Bread Truck, the Love Boat, Food World, the Frisco Kid, which is my second favorite, the Wide Loathing League, Town of Fun, the Good Time Blimp. My favorite is the round mound, the rebound.
In 1984, Barkley was drafted by the 76ers, and he quickly showed he was a force to be reckoned with. A force unlike any the NBA had ever seen before.
Here you had a power forward in a small forward's body with guard instincts, and there's never been a player that I can remember that combined all of that.
Charles just taking over now.
Oh, what a pass!
Oh, that's the pass of the year. That's a finish. Got to finish.
Oh, what a rejection by Barkley! What a play! What a play!
Here comes Charles. Down the lane.
Well, Charles is bright, and he's very funny. I think he enjoyed being outrageous. A lot of times he was outrageous in a very charming way.
Well, we don't have a lot of plays. All the plays we got is get the ball to me somehow.
Charles placed the responsibility for the team's success squarely on his shoulders, and he made Philadelphia one of the top teams in the East. But each year, the Sixers were eliminated in the playoffs, and Charles took responsibility for their failures as well.
You know, most of the people out there, they don't understand. They think it's just a game you play. This is your job, and you really care about winning and losing.
With each passing season, Charles felt his dream of a championship slipping further away. Finally, he could no longer contain his frustration, and he began to voice his criticism of the Sixers organization.
That was a bad time for me. I mean, I ain't lying. I didn't think I was going to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it then. I will truthfully admit that. I thought I was going to go crazy.
Charles Barkley, he has talked long and hard and loud about his hunger for an NBA title. He was traded to the Phoenix Suns in a 3-for-1 deal. The trade...
One chapter of Barkley's life was closing, and another was about to begin. But before heading off to Phoenix, he spent the summer of '92 in Barcelona as a member of the Dream Team. Playing for the greatest team ever assembled, he started to recapture his zest for the game.
Sometimes I dream that he is me. I just want to be like Chuck. Mike.
And Charles is on the run again. Behind his man. Oh,
It was an honor to be on that team. If I don't think anything could compare with that first Dream Team, nothing can compare with that.
As he arrived in Phoenix, Charles instantly became a fan favorite. The trade had left him rejuvenated, and it clearly showed. With a fresh chance to win his first championship, Barkley was playing like a man on a mission.
Here he comes again.
And here comes Charles. Don't get in his way.
I don't mean to brag, but can't no one person stop me. So don't take that personally.
That role of being Mr. Big Tough Guy all the time, making sure that everybody knew that, you know, when the Suns are coming to town, it's a possibility of you getting blown out, getting your butt kicked or whatever.
In Phoenix, Charles would have the greatest season of his career. He won the NBA's Most Valuable Player Award while leading the Suns to the league's best record and took them all the way to the '93 finals.
God want us to win the World Championship.
I don't know if I go that far, Charles.
No, I talked to him the other night.
But while Barkley played valiantly, he still fell far short of his ultimate goal. The Suns lost in 6 games in the finals at the hands of Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Go, go, go!
In 1996, his career took another new turn as he was traded to Houston.
Good reaching, oh. You know you can't guard me, boy.
Joining the veteran Rockets at age 33, Barkley knew this could be his last shot at the title.
I used to be a Chippendale, now I'm a Clydesdale.
He still showed flashes of being the Barkley of old, but Father Time and his ferocious playing style were starting to catch up with him. After a series of injuries, Charles announced that 2000 would be his final season. But in December of '99, it appeared that his career would be cut even shorter than he planned.
Charles Barkley suffered a ruptured quadriceps tendon, which will require surgery, and apparently is a season-ending injury.
But Charles wanted to go out on his own terms, so he began working hard to rehabilitate his knee injury, and he would make it back to suit up one final time in the Rockets' last game of the season against Vancouver.
Richie Norris going to the basket, lays it up, misses. Barkley with a rebound.
For 16 seasons, Charles Barkley electrified the NBA. His talent was unquestioned, But there was something more to his greatness, an inner drive that even opponents had to admire.
I tell you what, if you was going to war and you was in a foxhole, that's the guy you want with you, because you know he's going to give you everything he got while he's out there. Just a guy who got the most out of his ability, and when you paid to see him play, he played hard every night. That's it. Simple.
Mark West with Chambers and Barkley for Phoenix. Barkley draws Kemp close, and Perkins, and his first shot of the second half. If there's been a stumble for Barkley in the playoffs, it's been slow third quarters, but he starts out well. Whistle away from the ball. Mark West using a forearm as his second.
You see, Barkley got enough separation with his body to be able to get a good look. He was just about 10 feet away on that jump shot, but that's where you really want to have Barkley, shooting jumpers, not crashing the boards, not splitting double teams.
Now that foul by West, make it 3 on him. Pierce, hungry for 2, and finally gets it. His first basket of the game, a man who averaged well over 20 in the playoffs thus far. Almost 22.
Well, Pierce didn't really get a lot of shots. He only had 4 shots in the first half. I think the initial rush at the start of the game where he tired pretty early threw his offensive rhythm off. We'll see if he settled down. Marley working good.
Marley for 3. Comes out to Payton, and Payton is stolen by Johnson. Pierce had released, but Kevin Johnson quickly intercepts. And it's West locked inside. Barkley gets it back and is fouled. Ricky Pierce was reaching in, and if it's on him, that's number 3.
Gary Payton never played quarterback because he would have lofted that ball, and as Kevin Johnson made the interception, he was able to get all the way down into the heart. Perkins makes the block, but he comes right back to Barkley. He misses the first, and Ricky Pierce asking who?
Looking for his 19th point. Already has 10 rebounds. And after missing his first 2 free throws in the first half, it's that one.
Barkley has vowed not to let the Suns lose, and true to his word so far, he's at least kept them on the lead. When they've gotten behind, he's been the guy that demanded the attention.
Well, you can just put that in capital letters when you say go-to guy. That's Barkley. McKee against Chambers, reach in, steal by Johnson. And he tears down court. That was Mark West with the interception. Phoenix getting some extra chances with their quick hands. Barkley to Marley, and he's fouled by Kemp. Sean Kemp, number 3. Mark West is the man who made the play.
West has been a thorn in the side of the Suns, but a bigger thorn has been Barkley, and he was able to get away from the double team and find Marley. Kemp picks up his 3rd personal foul. In Game 5 here, it was Sean Kemp, who was huge in the second half. He really was a man possessed, and we'll find out whether he can get energized and keep this team close. Sonics trying to get to a 10-point advantage.
They've got it, and Marley scores his first point since the Suns have a 10-point lead, and 5.5 minutes into the first quarter was the last time Marley had scored prior to those 2 free throws.
McKee has to be aggressive at the offensive end.
McKee unable to hit the short shot. Kevin Johnson hurrying into the offensive end. Barkley. And a foul. And Barkley says that's 4 on Kemp. He's usually right.
And George Karl knows that the Suns, when they get ahead by 10 or 12, have a tendency to relax. They will allow you to get back in the basketball game, but in order to do so, you've got to do the right thing.
the biggest lead of the game for the Phoenix Suns, 12.
Trying to get the ball into Kemp.
Payton continues to have his trouble scoring. Barkley with his 11th rebound. He likes to go all the way. And a great pass to Chambers, and he is fouled. The spirit of Barkley fused throughout this Phoenix team this year.
After he wrestled the rebound away, the Sonics forgot that they're supposed to stop the ball. They let Barkley get in too deep, and now he finds Tom Chambers. They pick up another personal foul, Ricky Pierce.
His fourth. Big start for the Suns in this second half.
But the Sonics have to remember, they're down 13. They've got plenty of time. What they want to try to do is to get back their offensive rhythm, begin to find a way to hurt the Suns at the offensive end.
Phoenix outscoring Seattle 10-2 in this second half. Pierce inside. Oh, it just won't drop for the Sonics. Chambers. 69-53, a 16-point lead. Timeout.
So the Suns look to wrap things up and move into the finals. They had traveled a tough road just to get to that point. In the first round, they were down 2-0 before rallying to beat the Lakers in 5. Next, they beat the Spurs in 6, thanks to a clutch shot by Barkley in the final seconds. Now they're in a 7-game war with the Sonics. And we will return to the action right after this question about some shining Suns. In 1992, the Suns went quietly in the second round of the playoffs. They were criticized as being too soft. One of their assistant coaches said, "We need someone like a Charles Barkley." He never dreamed they'd actually get the Charles Barkley, but they did, and it was a perfect fit. Now Charles and the Suns are on the verge of reaching the finals as we return to Game 7 in Phoenix.
Charles Barkley. Another monster game, and the rookie Oliver Miller. Barkley's tutored him all season long, and Miller with his own adulation, adoration. John Kemp had a good first half, but he scored only 2 points, no rebounds in the second half, strapped with fouls. And Barkley has been on, couldn't call it cruise control because he's breaking the speed limit the way he tears around.
Oh, he's had his foot on the pedal, and he has dominated this ball game. And the Sonics just have not been able to way to contain Charles Barkley. That window of opportunity in 6:45 just blew away, and they are going to have to fight and claw. And you can see whenever you're giving ground defensively, they're just not getting it done.
Barkley leading Phoenix in that front court firepower. Plus 25. 3 on the shot clock. Kevin has to force up a shot, and it doesn't hit the rim, so the buzzer. 24-second violation, but Paul Westwall said that's okay. You're going to miss one, use all 24. And now a foul on Eddie Johnson, his 5th, after the buzzer. This free throw by Chambers will extend now an all-time record for free throws by the Suns. This is his 57th, and if he makes it, 50 free throws made. Those are franchise records. 25 years, no Phoenix team has ever been to the line more or made more free throws.
Most of those have come here in the second half.
Kept inside to jam. 16 for Sean. Time running out on what has been a marvelous season for the Seattle Supersonics, reaching the NBA Final
Final Four. They got 19,000 coaches here in America West Arena that are saying, take your time, don't shoot it early. And Kevin Johnson said, I can make that.
And does. He has 19. Kemp passes up the shot as he rides down, and the call is against Chambers, his fourth. Chambers wondering what he did wrong.
Well, Kemp had missed a couple of perimeter shots before, so he decided to try to get a little bit closer. Chambers thought, he came into me.
Kemp at the line.
This is when the Suns are the most dangerous, and when they get a big lead, they have a tendency to steamroll and just roller coaster, and that's what we've seen since that 6:45 mark when they were within 10 or 12. Well, today the killer instinct may have arrived. Dan Marley said they haven't had it, but they have been devastating, led by Charles Barkley.
112-97. Johnson, veterans on the court with Chambers and Barkley. KJ takes it in. And another foul. And that is Johnson's strength, that lightning quick drive.
Askew again has a problem of giving ground. He doesn't turn him. He lets Kevin take the lane that he wants, and out of it, he gets fouled. The reaction by Paul Westphal, that's the most emotion he's shown in these 7 games.
That's an imposter. That isn't Westphal. Well, that almost is a signal with 3.5 minutes to go, and the Suns now by 18, that Westphal can actually sit back and perhaps enjoy. Askew tipped in by Sean Kemp, and a foul. The basket is good. The foul, I believe, was on Kevin Johnson against Gary Payton.
Askew trying to squeeze this off, and you can see Payton trying to pull him down, and Kevin Johnson trying to hold his balance, fighting back. Inside Askew, and underneath, Kemp will make a beautiful tip, and in that right-hand corner is the contact between the two guards. Now the real question over there on that Suns bench is, will Richard Dumas get out of the doghouse? You got 3:20 to go. You're up 15, Paul.
Dumas has not played after starting 4 games of this series. And that's with Cedric Ceballos out for the rest of the year. Barkley is in the 40s. Over 40 points and 20 rebounds now. 40 and 20. Payton fouled at the other end.
That's been the story. Barkley has been able to get the ball and do what he wanted, and Sean Kemp, trying to stay in the game, has had to give him the room to shoot the ball. Barkley, since that first quarter, has just exploded. Dumas saying, Coach, win.
Dumas, along with Oliver Miller, the 2 rookies, shaved their heads in respect to Charles Barkley.
He shouldn't have shaved his. Because ever since he shaved his, he's not played well.
117, 101. 2:47 to go. Phoenix with the best record in the NBA. As they close out Seattle, will host Chicago Wednesday night, game 1 of the finals. Chambers. Barkley doesn't get that rebound, then takes it away from McMillan and draws another foul. Oh my! That is why this man is the league's MVP.
That game symbolized the kind of season Charles was having.
In past years, this is what's been missing for the Phoenix Suns. A guy who is relentless, who just won't let you lose. And this is the opportunity that Charles Barkley has been dying for. A chance to be on a team that really has some firepower and to compete for a championship.
Chambers goes out with 17, and the hard-shooting veteran played his role well today. But the star of stars at the line, looking 44-41. Just 2 less now than his all-time playoff high scored in Game 5. MVP, the Jet. Danny Ainge takes it away from Johnson. With 12 on the clock, sends it up. John Kemp with the rebound. That's when Barkley came here. He said, it's like a baseball lineup. You got 3 great hitters in the middle of the lineup. We all can be good. Eddie Johnson with a bucket. He said, I came to a team that had 2 all-stars, Marley and Kevin Johnson. Now we got 3 top players. He said, I've never been in that position in Philadelphia.
They have a lot of depth, and more importantly, they have a lot of different ways to hurt you in scoring. Barkley.
I should say they didn't have that in Philadelphia in his later years. As a rookie, they did. Right into the hands of Frank Johnson with 1:35 to go, and now it's a matter of just for the Phoenix fans enjoying a great, great season that will continue. Foul on Kemp, and the confrontation of the game's top stars, Kemp and Barkley. Symbolically, Kemp fouls out, and Barkley goes to score more.
With a tough shot, but Barkley just won't be denied. He came over the top, got it, Kemp blocked it. He thought he blocked it again and was not happy with the call, which kind of symbolizes the frustration of the Sonics, the joy and elation of the Suns.
43, that ties his Game 5 output, his all-time playoff high. And he perhaps, if he makes this one, it'll be his best scoring game, maybe his best. Needed it most. The man has done it. Nina Barros with his first basket. The countdown in the final minute now for the Suns. Getting his first playing time today. Marley doesn't get it off. 41 seconds to go, and we can safely now look ahead. Suns and Bulls, they played twice during the regular season in Phoenix early. A big win for Chicago led by Jordan's 40. But Barkley goes out with that smile of his, as angry as he can be sometimes. He can light up the city with that smile. 44 points, 24 rebounds for Charles Barkley. Beat the Bulls chant, predictably arising out of this crowd of 19,000. Uncontested with 14.8 seconds. As for Barkley's thoughts now can concentrate on 2 of his dream teammates, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. The Bulls will be in town Wednesday night. You'll see it live here on NBC. All the games will be live. 2.3 seconds, not quite over.
Eddie Johnson fouls out of the ball game. It hurt him, but he showed a great deal of class. Went down and congratulated all of the Phoenix Suns, and he will take a bench in what was his best game, and unfortunately his worst moment. They lose in Game 7, and you can see a disappointed Eddie Johnson.
Well, he'll be here to watch as a spectator. He lives in Phoenix and has season tickets.
He's not coming home for this.
Knowing Johnson, you know, I think as hurt as he is now, he's such a good guy and a good sport. I love sport. It'll take a while, but I bet we'll see his face in one of those finals games. He went to Westinghouse High School in Chicago. The last shot, and the Phoenix Suns are the champions of the West for only the second time in the history of this franchise. They're in the NBA Finals in quest of their first ever NBA championship. The Phoenix Suns are the Western champions, led by their most valuable player, Charles Barkley, who wears his feelings in public. What's he feeling now? Tom Hammond?
You just seemed determined not to get beat today. You just picked up the team and carried them on their back. What were your thoughts?
Well, I didn't feel like we were going to lose. I believe we're going to win the World Championship. I believe that all year. I think we got the best team in the world, and I'm glad we're playing Chicago because they're the best. But we feel like we're going to win this thing. We felt like that all year.
You have a message for your dream team teammate Michael Jordan?
Well, as soon as he called me yesterday and wished me luck and told me to take the ball to the basket, and I tried to do that. He's my friend, he's my brother, and I love him, but we're going to play a lot of golf this series.
Charles was the shortest player ever to lead the league in rebounding. And there were some other players who didn't exactly fit the mold for their position. Now, back in the 50s, Maurice Stokes was emerging as a star NBA center. Even though he was only 6'7", Stokes averaged 16 points and 17 rebounds during his career with the Cincinnati Royals, a career tragically cut short when he hit his head on the court and was left paralyzed. Ed McCauley was nicknamed Easy Ed, but it wasn't easy for him to play center at 6'8", 190. Despite his size, he was a 7-time All-Star and one of the league's top scorers. Still, he may be best remembered for being part of the trade that brought Bill Russell to Boston. Paul Silas was 6'7" and could never jump very high off the ground, but he made up for his lack of hops with his work ethic and tenacity on the boards. Silas was one of the game's top rebounders and defenders, and a key player on 3 NBA championship teams with the Celtics and the Seattle Sonics. The 70s brought a new model of small trucks, Leonard Truck Robinson to be exact. He wasn't especially big, but he was aggressive, and he battled bigger forwards for 11 NBA seasons. His best was 1978 with the Jazz when he averaged 23 points and 16 rebounds. Calvin Nat played in the Mile High City, but at 6'6", he wasn't especially high for a power forward. Nevertheless, he excelled during the 1980s with the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. Nat's best season came with Denver in 1985 when he averaged 23 points a game. Then there was AD, Adrian Dantley, standing 6'5". Many doubted he could be an effective NBA forward, but he proved them wrong during his days with the Pistons and the Jazz, winning 2 NBA scoring titles and finishing his career 10th on the league's all-time scoring list. With his pencil-thin physique, Louis Orr looked like he'd blow over in a stiff wind. He was 6'8", just 175, but was actually a power forward for the Knicks in the 80s. He started at Syracuse along with center Roosevelt Bowie, where they were known as the Louis and Bowie Show. As you may have noticed, Charles Barkley has an opinion on just about everything. And these days, he's sharing his opinions with TV viewers as an NBA analyst. As he puts it, it's a job where he doesn't have to work. Thanks a lot, Charles. He's talked about buying his own team someday and perhaps becoming a movie actor. He also hasn't given up on running for governor of Alabama. With Charles, you never know what he might do next. One thing we do know is that it will always be entertaining. That's it for this edition of Vintage NBA, our first of the new season. I'm Robin Roberts. We'll look for you next time. Take care.
A question that I'm often asked is, how was it to coach Charles? Like, they think it might have been difficult.
When I came here 4 years ago, I did not know what to expect because some of you guys treated me real bad in them 2 7-game series.
And so tonight, a very grateful franchise is going to make the backboard you got your last rebound off of a gift to you for you to have forever.